Welcome, fellow golf lovers. My name is Jason Chambers, a PGA teaching professional located in San Juan Capistrano, California, and this is For the Love of Golf, a channel designed to lay out the foundations for you to build your game around for a lifetime of improvement and enjoyment. Inconsistent, no control, always pushing it, never consistent contact. These are 95% of the complaints I hear from students. And frankly, most students are not honest enough in their assessment. Yes, everyone has some swing flaw that is getting in their way. And yes, we need to address those. But the biggest fault for inconsistency is starting differently every time. You mean not the takeaway? No. Even before that, the majority of inconsistencies come from a lack of consistent setup. If you do it differently every time, expect a different result every time. Say, for instance, you line up with your stance closed, aim right of your target for right-handed golfers, and you mysteriously are pushing everything to the right. Congratulations, you're striking it well, but you're lazying your setup. And what happens when you do this over and over? You start to adjust your swing. Now you're building compensations into your game, and those compensations require better timing and coordination to do the same thing every time. And pretty soon, you have no idea where the ball's going. Also, when you talk to a tour professional, the guys that are making money in the game, what they work on constantly, the overwhelming answer is to grind on their setup. They want to set themselves up for the best chance to hit a reliable shot. They're not tinkering with their swing for the most part. They do that in the off season if they do. And they're making sure their grip, their alignment, their posture, and their ball position are consistent. So why not practice like the pros? Let's get you set up right, so you have the best chance of making consistent strike with as few compensations as possible. Step 1, know what you want and build a routine. We can get into micromanaging and microanalyzing your setup and positions, but the key is to do it consciously and consistently every time. So we're going to build a pre-shot routine that puts you in the same place every time. The easiest way to do that is what a coach once told me. Bring your GPA up. What is GPA? No, it's not your grade point average. It's your grip, your posture, and how you're lined up towards the target, plus the ball position. Wish I could get another letter in there. If you can build a routine that repeats those 4 things, you can start to simplify your swing. It's simple too, but you need to be diligent. I myself spend 30 minutes a week just doing my setup routine. And I have been in the same setup for 15 years. It's that important. So, let me share how I go about setting up, and then we can maybe work on a routine for you when we talk about individual instruction. First off, I want to take my grip. I've been using the same grip for about 15 years now. I changed it when I didn't like the way the old grip was. But what I do is I'll put my left hand on it first to make sure I've got good control, but it's loose enough where I can move this club back and forth. To set up your grip, the first thing you want to do is take the club in your right hand, bring your left hand on, and run that club from that little fat pad right there, and run it across your first knuckle and your left hand, or your top hand, whichever one that is if you're a right-handed golfer. Now, when you set your thumb down, I want your thumb to be just to the back side of the top of the shaft. This is a pretty neutral grip. This is not weak or strong. Some people you see get their thumb way over here. That's a strong grip, and you can see I start to see a little bit of cupping in here. Others get on this side, and now that's a really weak grip, and I don't have any control over that as I come through. So I go ahead and I get my left hand on there straight, so the thumb is just up on top like that, and then I bring my right hand in, and I will just wrap my fingers around. Basically what I want to do is I want to take this lifeline of my hand right here, and I want to cover up my thumb with that. What that allows me to do is now my hands are opposing each other. There's no crazy twisting or turning of my hands. They're just on the club equally. I don't care if if they're real strong. So you're like this when you come into it. I don't care if you're real weak, but I want them balanced. There's good and bad to strong. There's good and bad to weak. We want to make sure they're balanced. Now let's talk about trying to get yourself into a good posture. See the golf ball I got down here? Now, do you just walk up to the ball and just put your club down and go and see what's happened? No. If you do that, you're not setting up a routine. Once I have my grip on the club, what I want to do is hold this out, and you can see the club is not at a 90-degree angle. It's about 45 degrees, but it's natural with where my hands are holding it. And you can see the back of my farmer's tan arms. You want to let your upper arms drop until they hit your chest. Oh, now that club's not anywhere near the ground right now. But everybody's got a different size chest. Little skinny people can get their arms down here. People with bigger chests are up here. And what has to happen now is you've got to come in and you've got to bend forward and lean forward until that club hits the ground. What I don't want you to do is this, and what I don't want you to do is bend in here so your hands are in here. You're setting your body, you're setting your arms against your body, and then you're bowing forward so the club comes down. Now, you'll notice that club is not directly behind the ball. That means that I wasn't in the right spot to start with. I want to move this whole unit, meaning my body, my club, everything I've done so far together, and now I've got that club right behind the ball. That's how you get your posture. Now we've come in, we've taken our grip, leaned forward, bowed forward. All right, so now I've got my feet together. Now I can see, hey, my toes are lined up together. That's going to put my hips in alignment. That's going to put my shoulders in alignment. Everything's aligned. And if you look down, that ball position is right between the middle of my feet. Now we can start to adjust for what shot we want to hit. For all standard iron shots, I want your feet equal. And the reason for that is the swing center is right underneath your chin. If you're equal, you're good. If that ball goes back too far, your swing center now is here. You're going to have a chance to top that ball. If you move that ball too far forward, now you're either going to hit it fat or you've got to make a big move to get there. So what I want is I want your club and your stance right in the middle and then equal. Now you've come through this and you've built a routine. I now know my hands are on the club the right way. I know that I've bent forward the right way. I have aligned my feet the right way and my ball position's in the right spot. If I get those 4 things correctly every time, I'm going to be more consistent than someone who doesn't. So, how can I say this routine will work for everything? Because the golf club and manufacturers have designed golf clubs so you can keep your relationship to the club the same on every single shot. What am I talking about? The driver, which I've got right here, is roughly 45 inches long. How am I going to have the same setup as I'm going to have with a wedge? Well, I've got a wedge and I've got an 8-iron here. And these are just random clubs I picked out. But what I want you to do is I want you to set up the butt end of the club. And what you'll notice here is these 3 clubs are all sitting on the ground the way they should be sitting on the ground. But the little secret is, hey, look, they're all coming to the same spot. So this distance and how you set this up is always the same. Your body starts the same. Now your wrist angle is going to be a little bit different each one of these. But if you always set up with your hands a certain distance from your body, you're always going to know what space is, and the clubs are designed to do that. So that's how I go about setting up. Again, take my grip, let my arms drop, keep my feet together, bow forward towards the ball, and then I spread my feet depending upon what kind of shot I want. But now I know where my ball position is in relation to my body. I know where my hands are on the club. I know I've got the same space. Some really good checks for you to do when you do this is when you get set up, take your right hand off the club, make a thumb and a fist, and put it against your thigh. It should come out to just about where the butt of the club is. I don't want to see you reaching out like this. but I definitely don't want to see you in here. Consistency, right here. Now, everybody's got a different hand size, everybody's a different body size. That's a general guide. Another way that I've seen people do it is you get set up, take your stance, you let your right arm just hang. Now, if that comes right back to here, no problem. But if you're out here and you let your right arm hang, too far. If I'm in here and I let my right arm hang, I know I'm out here too far. Real simple, just a good check, just in case you ever feel like you're a little bit off. Okay, so we've worked on what I do to set up the same every single time for all my full swing shots. Obviously, bunker shots are different. There's specialty shots. But I want you to hit a majority of your shots the same every time. This is how you do it. You build a routine that then allows you to build a repeatable swing. And as we talked about in the last video, allows you to hit the singular shot that you are practicing. In the end, I want you to enjoy the game you love more. That's what my site is for, and that is what my mission is. So stay tuned for insight and instructions. And if you want, contact me for more individualized instruction. My contact information is in the link below. Let me help you love your game more.